Okay. Is everybody able to see the screen? We have the Transcendental Knowledge, Chapter 4.
Yes,
Yes,
Mataji.
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 Yes,
It's clear.
Mataji.
Okay. My computer, there's some lagging, so I'm not sure. Okay, let's start with a little review of what we did in the last class. So this is Chapter 4. We've done the 4 sections, A, B, C, and D. The last one we did in the last class, sacrifices lead to transcendental knowledge. And today we'll finish with the conclusion, summary of transcendental knowledge. So attaining jnana through yajna, sacrifices lead to transcendental knowledge. And we saw in these few verses how 25th verse, Krishna speaks about how various people go to the demigods because they want quick results. Then he spoke about sacrifice into Brahman. 26th verse, unadulterated brahmacharis. Then he also spoke about grahasthas. 27th verse, he spoke on Ashtanga Yoga. So through these processes of sacrifice, how one attains knowledge is what the section was about. Some people give charity, some do austerity, some do yoga yajna, and some do study of the scriptures. And then he also spoke about hatha yoga and pranayam in the 29th verse. This is a little review or a quiz, short quiz, and you have to fill in the blanks if you remember. We'll start with the easiest one, spiritual act. No, start with where one person who does sacrifice, spiritual sacrifice, what is his destination? So the first one on top, he's sure to attain the spiritual kingdom, which is called
Spiritual kingdom.
yes,
That is,
but we are looking for the Sanskrit.
That is Gantamyam.
Wonderful. Brahma Gantavyam. And then the spiritual activities.
Brahma Karma.
Brahma Karma. Complete absorption.
Complete absorption is Arpanam. Brahma Arpanam.
Havi.
Okay. Absorption. So it comes in Ashtanga Yoga also. The last stage of Ashtanga is
Samadhina.
Samadhina.
Correct.
And then offered by the spiritual soul, Brahma.
Brahmahuta.
Uttam. And then the contribution.
Contribution, Brahma Arpanam. Contribution
and
is
the
Brahma
fire?
Arpanam.
Arpanam.
Agnav. Brahma Agnav.
Agnav. And Brahma Havi is the butter. Wonderful. Okay, so 30th verse, Krishna spoke about purpose of performing sacrifices. The common aim is to control the senses, and sense gratification is the root cause of material existence. Because of that, we need to control the senses so that we can perform. That is the purpose of performing yajna, so that we can achieve knowledge. Sacrifices help one become cleansed of simple reactions of material existence, gain transcendental knowledge, and gradually devotional service. End of the life, one reaches the spiritual abode. 31st verse, Krishna says, without sacrifice, one can never live happily on this planet or in the next, or to speak of, in this life or in the next. Where does yajna originate from, and where is it meant to take us? Krishna speaks about that, how it's coming from, originated from the Vedas, and it takes us towards liberation. In 33rd verse, Krishna says, O chastiser of the enemy, the sacrifice performed in knowledge is better than mere sacrifice of material possessions. After all, O son of Pritha, all sacrifices of work culminate in transcendental knowledge. So Arjuna wanted to, this in context with Arjun's situation. He wanted to give up all his kingdom and just go to the forest. That Krishna says, better than that, you do it in knowledge. right? Giving charity, just giving charity in the mode of goodness, yeah, it is good. I should perform charity is good, but it won't lead to knowledge. So giving charity with the understanding that I'm a soul, to the person I'm giving charity to is also a soul. I am just doing Krishna's will. They're part of Krishna, so that they're also benefited by this act. I'm just an instrument. So with this understanding, I'm a soul, I'm not my body. Otherwise, without knowledge, it just creates more bondage. Even mode of goodness will create bondage. So this is in context with Arjuna. He wanted to renounce the kingdom. I don't want anything. I'll go to the forest. So Krishna says, better than sacrifice of material possession without knowledge of self and supreme, you sacrifice with knowledge, which will lead to further development of intellect, and one acquires proper spiritual knowledge as the knowledge becomes deep, internalized, and realized. Then all sacrifices and acts of charity will lead to purification and ultimately liberation. All right, so we'll begin with today's class. We want to finish the chapter today and we'll try to do that. 34th verse is very, very important. Verses where Krishna asks Arjuna to go find a guru. Well, he already has a guru there for all of us. We need a spiritual master, and the importance of that. Krishna said, requesting you to kindly mute yourself if you're unmuted, or I'll.
Oh, sorry.
Hare Krishna. Okay. So kindly turn on your videos who haven't turned them on. I'm sorry I have to repeat this in every class, but it is important that we keep our videos on. My camera is off, is it?
Yes, Mataji. I was just going to ask
Shows
that.
it's
Is
on
it
over
on?
here. Hold on. Okay, there's a button over here that keeps moving, and that's why I think you can see me now.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
I'm so sorry. I didn't realize it says over. My husband texted me. He's in the other room. He texted me, your camera is off. Okay, so sorry. All right. So the summary of this section from 34 to 42nd verse, how to achieve transcendental knowledge, the fruit of achieving transcendental knowledge, who can achieve, the symptoms of success, and conclusion. So we'll get into this right away, because we also have a short video towards the end of the class. We also have an activity. We all want to do all of those within our time period. Let's see how we can make it work. So method and process of attaining jnana. Let's all recite this verse. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnananas tattvadarshinaha. All right, so we'll look at the verse translation and then we'll look at each line. Somebody can unmute and read.
Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So, tad vidhi pranipatena. Tad, what is tad? That. And what is that? That knowledge that I have been speaking about, Krishna is saying. That knowledge, tad, vidhi is the process. Pranipatena, just try to learn the truth. Pranipat. Pranipat is approaching in submission a guru, laying down or offering obeisances. That's pranipat. Pariprashnena sevaya. Inquire from him submissively and sevaya, serve him. Upadekshanti te jnanam, he will impart knowledge unto you. Why? Because jnaninas tattvadarshina, the such self-realized souls are seers of the truth. They have seen the truth and they can show you the truth. So 3 parts in this verse, Pranipat, which is humbleness, Pariprashnena, which is inquisitiveness, and Sevya is service-mindedness. So these three components are very important. This is what Krishna is speaking about here. We can tap into his grace. Whose grace? Krishna's grace by these three. So his is humbleness, inquisitiveness, and service attitude. Let's keep going. Approaching a spiritual master. This is, we're talking about Pranipatena. Approaching a spiritual master with humility. Spiritual journey is inner journey and we cannot see inside. Therefore, we need to know the way. The spiritual master knows the way and we need to be humble to inquire, to bow down or to fall down. I don't know the way, but you do. Please be my guide. So it is very important to have a humble mood when we come in front of a guru or a spiritual master, because without that, seeing the ego of a seer or a seeker, the guru cannot teach. It's like a block, it's like a wall which creates a distance or a subtle distance between the guru and the student. It creates a lot of distraction for the seeker also, because he thinks he knows. If somebody thinks they already know, how much can the person learn, right? So the mood is very important. And we see from, if the picture, you can see whoever knows what this picture is can speak about it for just 1 minute. Who is this? And approaching Mahaprabhu and speak about the mood also. Just 1 minute. Anybody? One of our acharyas, Goswamis.
Rup Goswami Mataji.
Give it Goswami Mataji.
Rup Goswami. So both Rup Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, when they approached Mahaprabhu, they fell at their feet with the grass in their mouth, in between their teeth, which shows we can get into details about that also, but basically it shows that I am just like a grass on the ground. I need your support in attaining knowledge. I don't know anything. Also, grass shows animals eat grass. I'm just like an animal. I have no intelligence. I don't have any knowledge. Although they were so knowledgeable, they were reading Shastras, they were so intelligent, right? But when they came in front of their guru, this was their mood. So this should be our mood. Although we might have knowledge, or in the sense, we might have scriptural knowledge, but we don't have realized knowledge. So once we come in front of a guru who is the knower, who has already seen the truth, this should be our mood if we want to advance in spiritual life. So this is Pranipatena, then is Pariprashnena. We inquire submissively from the spiritual master and we develop Jnana Chakshush, the mind's eye or intellectual vision. We develop our capacity for spiritual perception and capacity for deep thinking. So Pariprashnena, we should ask questions, not just any. Prabhupada says in the purport, inquiries and submissiveness constitute proper combination for spiritual understanding. So the questions also that we ask should be sensible and they should be relating to spiritual life, not just always material life, because we have God has given us the understanding, and Guru also, that we're not the body, we're the soul. So we should have intellectual, spiritual questions that we can ask. Yes, we might have problems in our material life, and it is always better to approach your Guru and get the right understanding so we can make right decisions in life. That is there. But to advance in spiritual life, we need to ask good, deep questions. Sevaya. Most transformational realization of our life will be that Krishna and Krishna alone is the source of my enjoyment. And acting on that knowledge by serving Krishna and his pure devotees moves us towards reinstating our eternal spiritual position. So, Sevaya, or the mood of serving. Anytime any help is needed, any seva is needed, I am ready to go do the service. Our mood should not be, okay, there are so many others. Why just me? Why do they keep asking me? It is because Krishna is wanting us to advance in spiritual life. That's why they're asking you. The problem is we forget that it's a blessing. It's an opportunity for us. And that's why the seva is very, very important. Also, once we might think that we're humble, we might have the mood, yes, I'm very humble, but unless we get into doing practically any service, that realization doesn't come. Also, we can understand where we are when we start doing service, because when we do service, that's the time our humility really shows practically. When we go a little bit wrong, we think we're right, but when the guru chastises us, that's the time our ego is purified. It goes from, okay, I'm not the body, I'm serving Krishna. So simple example I'll give from my own life. In the beginning, when we started going for book distribution, I started going for book distribution. There are times when people are not so pleasant. They will chastise you also. They will, not everybody is ready to, take a spiritual book from you. So they have questions and they might get rude. So one person like that, this is in Artesia, not too far away from here. And because it's an Indian community, basically Indian shops and stores, we were distributing. And one of the Indian people, only a man, he said something which was really, really not so pleasant to hear. I was just offering a Bhagavad Gita, but it was, so when he left, I looked at Krishna and I said, I'm doing this only for you, Krishna. I don't think I can do this otherwise, but this is for you. So yes, when we do service, there's good, it could be any service, cooking, cleaning, DT service, book distribution, any seva, that even singing, even kirtan, we might go off track and we might have to listen from our seniors. How are you singing? First go learn. So there's so many things, and we come across chastisement only when we do seva. So that's why seva is very, very important, so that we get rid of our false egos. So pranipatena, humbleness. If I'm not humble, Guru cannot show me the way. Inquisitiveness, it enables me to internalize what the Guru is teaching and acting on that knowledge, always ready to render service. This is how our false ego goes away. And Krishna shows by his own example. Our gurus show by their own example how to inculcate these moods. So, Upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha, the self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Krishna spoke about karma yoga and how it will lead to jnana, and that jnana will lead to liberation. So, jnanina, if you want to become knowledgeable, one should approach a spiritual master because he is knowledgeable, right? Beautiful verse. Bona fide path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. He does not manufacture rules. So this is coming in disciplic succession. The gurus who have taken shelter under the disciplic succession, they do not manufacture rules against the principles of the revealed scriptures and never present anything which is not found in the Vedic literature. They never claim to be God, never contradict teachings of Shastra and other bona fide sadhus. And there are 4 sampradayas: Brahma, Shri, Kumara, and Rudra. Yes, Deepa Mataji, you have a question.
Gee, forgive me if I have forgotten, but you said karma yoga leads to jnana. Can you just quickly refresh our memory? I forgot how that.
So when we do our karma, right? which is coming in the prescribed, coming from the Vedas, prescribed duty. When we talk about prescribed duty or karma, my swadharma in this world, it is coming from the scriptures in the sense is talks about where you are in the varnas, right? Or the whether you could be a or ashram. So grastashram, brahmachari, we have our different kind of duties. Once we perform our duty in that boundary or in that capacity, understanding that I'm not my body, I am a soul, part of Krishna, and I'm serving in that capacity. It leads to, that knowledge leads to further realized knowledge. For example, for us, in our context, I'm talking about you, Deepa Mataji, you have two little beautiful girls. So your dharma right now as a mother, taking care of them. So when we do it with the understanding, okay, one understanding is I'm the mother and I have given birth to them. They have to listen to me. If they don't, then we get disturbed, right? If they go against our. Other understanding is they are also part of Krishna. I have been given this responsibility to take care of them in this life because they've come in, in this is my capacity or my field or my kshetra. That also Krishna speaks about greater detail in 13th chapter, where my capacity to take care of them as a servant of Krishna. So once we start serving in that, we do our karma in that capacity, then more realized knowledge comes. Our jnana leads to us to get liberated from this world, if we can do our karma in that understanding. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So these are notes we can go through later. This is a little brief summary of the Vaishnav Sampradayas. You can go through later, the 4 Sampradayas. And then this talks about qualification of a guru. So teachings, character, ability to liberate others, activities, disciplic succession, realization. You can go through all of this in your, whenever you get time. Qualification of a disciple. We can go through this quickly. One must be awakened to one's position of suffering in the material world, and one must desire to find the ultimate solution. So a disciple is the one, at least he has the realization that I'm suffering in this world. Not everyone can also become a disciple. So to be a qualified disciple, we have to have the basic understanding that I want to get out of this world of misery. That's one thing. One must have firm respect for the Supreme Lord. One must have faith in the Guru and Krishna. One must be submissive. One must fully be obedient. One must have a serving mood. One should consider the order of the Guru as one's prime duty in life. One must respect the Guru as God. Not as God in the sense that he is Krishna, but he is the dearmost servant of Krishna. So as good as God, meaning whatever instructions he's giving me, they're coming directly from Krishna. Krishna is taking, he's manifesting in this world physically in the form of a guru in front of me. So Krishna is there within our heart. As Guru, he guides, but because we cannot, our heart is so much filled with all these 6 anarthas, we cannot hear the voice of Krishna within our heart. So we need a Guru who can, so Krishna manifests. So he's within our heart as Chaitya Guru. He manifests outside of us as Mahanta Guru, who can physically, in a form, who can guide us and teach us, hold our hand and take us towards the spiritual kingdom. So one must be anxious to satisfy the Guru. One must serve the other disciples of one's Guru. How to take shelter under bona fide spiritual master, correct understanding. Srila Prabhupada is a founder Acharya. Prabhupada is representing a bona fide sampradaya, and there is a mission. Each one of us is carrying out that mission. So sorry. Okay, so come to complete correct understanding that all the bona fide disciple of Srila Prabhupada are uniquely great in their own aspect. So we shouldn't compare our gurus who are disciples of Prabhupada. We shouldn't compare them. He also said this is one big family. Bhakti Charu Maharaj always said that you're in the boat of ISKCON, don't step out. So whoever is your guru in the Sampradaya coming down, Brahma, Gaudiya Sampradaya, we should be so fortunate. We should think we're so blessed to be in this boat, whoever might be our guru. So this is also very important, not comparing various gurus. Each of them reflect unique qualities. Each of them is capable to take you back to Godhead. Each of them is carrying out the mission of Prabhupada. And some incorrect understanding is also when we're approaching a guru or thinking of getting initiated by a guru. We shouldn't be forced from any devotee or any teacher. It shouldn't be based on friendship. It shouldn't be based on relationship. Some devotee favoring you in different ways, that should also not be the reason why we're taking initiation from that particular guru. Shiksha guru is initiating Srila Prabhupada because he or she has helped you. Acceptability of spiritual master. Okay, this guru is quickly accepting disciples. Okay, let me just take Diksha from this guru. Not like that. And peer pressure also. All my friends are getting initiated. That should also not be the reason why we should quickly get initiated. So we are all on a different path, different level, and Krishna will show us the right way. We just need to have a pure sincerity and dedication, and Krishna will guide. In the form of Guru, Krishna delivers his devotees. All right. Prabhupada, he lives forever by his divine instructions, and the follower lives with him. I remember one of the lectures I was hearing, disciples saying, I really don't have that much faith, determination also, sincerity also. I don't think how I'll be able to go back to Godhead. And Prabhupada said, just grab onto my dhoti and I'll take you back. So at least the sincerity or love for our guru, and that itself is so potent. The guru will shower his grace and mercy and take us back to Godhead. Results and glories of attaining jnana, from 35th to 42nd verse, to end of the chapter. So let's dive into this 35th verse. Yachkyatva na punarja moham evam yasasi pandava yena bhutani sheshani drikshyasi atmani athomayi. Somebody can read the translation, please.
Having obtained. Okay, Mataji, please.
Having obtained real knowledge from self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. Of this knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in the other word, that they are mine.
Thank you, Professor. Yach Gyatvana Punarmoham. After you know this, then Punarmoham, again there will be no illusion. Evam Yasasi Pandava, as you are right now. As we know, we are right now, you will not get into that illusion again, O Pandava, O Arjuna. Yena Bhutani Asheshani, by this Bhutani, all living beings, without exception, Asheshani. Drakshyami Atmani Athomai. You will see them as spiritual, and Mai, you see them as mine. So, with this knowledge, Yach Gyatva, having known this, Punarmoham, you will not fall back into illusion again, and you will see that they are all spiritual. All living beings are spiritual, and that they are mine. So this is the first verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is talking about a relationship between the living entities and himself. He has spoken about how we're not the body, we're the soul, but that connection, he also spoke about 261. Who remembers? 261.
तानि सर्वाणि संयम्य
Karmani. Tani sarvani
सर्वाणि संयम्य युक्ता आसीत् मत्परा
karma. That was the
ऋषिः
first time Krishna spoke about how he should be the focus of our meditation. Then 330, Krishna speaks about how offer all your karma unto me. But he did not speak about the relationship of the soul, the living beings, with him. Here is what for the first time, he speaks about this. That all living beings, you will see them as their mind. Let's look at the two results of jnana. Krishna speaks about the glories or the results of attaining this jnana. So, yat kyatva na punar moham evam yasasi pandava. No more illusion again, having obtained real knowledge from self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. For by this knowledge, what happens? Acquisition of spiritual vision comes. You will see all living beings as spiritual and that they belong to me. So in context of Bhagavad Gita over here, Krishna is saying, don't think that you alone are concerned about Bhishma, Drona, and all the warriors. I am most concerned about them because they are my part and parcels. How beautiful, right? Our acharyas get deep into the understanding of these verses. It's not just Krishna speaking philosophy. There is a mood, there is a context. Arjuna is saying, he's been saying that this is my grandfather, my teacher, and you want me to Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhava, right?
Yeah.
Shreyo bhoktum bhakshamapi haloke. How can, and you are the killer of enemies. These are not my enemies. These are my friends and relatives and my teachers. You're expecting me to kill them. And here, by speaking this verse, beautiful verse, when you get the knowledge by a spiritual master, right? This will remove your illusion that you're not that you're the body and you're not the soul. This is our illusion. That illusion will be removed and you will be able to get the spiritual vision with which you will see that you're not the only one who related to them materially. This is material or temporary relationships. Once we leave this body, then again, if we get another body, we'll have another set of relatives, right? So those are illusions. Those are like ripples on the waves. They come and then they go. They are all temporary. But Krishna has that eternal relationship with all living entities. So Krishna is saying, if you think you're concerned, I am most concerned about them. And let's have somebody read this.
So don't see them with illusory vision that these are my grandfather, teachers, relatives, and friends. These are temporary relationships. They are all eternal souls and they have an eternal relationship with me. What I'm telling you to do is ultimately for their highest benefit.
Here also, if the picture that you see, Krishna is picking up the wheel and he's running to kill Bhishma Dev. It's not that there's so much enmity in him and he wants to see Bhishma Dev killed. That is also out of his reciprocation because Bhishma Dev wanted to see Krishna in that mood of a warrior. So Krishna has mercy for all his parts and parcels, all the souls who are part of him. And everything that he does is for the ultimate benefit of his devotee, of his children. And read this later, notes. Prabhupada says, the whole teaching of the Gita is targeted towards this end, that a living being as his eternal servitor cannot be separated from Krishna, and his sense of being and identity apart from Krishna is called Maya. Okay, next verse, 36th. Api chedasi papebhya sarvebhya papa kriptamaha sarvam jnana plavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. Let's have somebody read the translations.
Even
Even
if you
if
are.
you are. Yes,
Go ahead,
Mataji,
Prabhuji.
continue.
No, Prabhuji, you go. Thank you.
Please, Mataji, please.
Even if you are considered to be the most sinful of all sinners, when you are situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, you will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Abhiched asi papebhya. Among the sinners, even if you are sarvebhya, among so many others, papakrit tamaha. Tama is superlative, right? It is the most sinful. If you think you're the most sinful, sarvam jnana plavenaiva. The jnana plavenaiva is, plava is a boat. So the boat of knowledge, Krishna is now giving analogies beautifully. He's going to give two more in the coming verses. So here in this verse, he's comparing jnana to boat, or knowledge to a boat. So sarvam jnana plavenaiva, all such sinful reactions in the boat, when you're in the boat of transcendental knowledge, certainly, vrijanam santarishyasi, you will be able to cross this ocean of miseries. So on this boat of knowledge, you will be, so person might think, I've done so many sins, maybe in my past lives, in this life also, I've been eating meat, I've been doing all kinds of other sins. Am I even qualified to approach a pure disciple, a bona fide guru? Am I even qualified? And Krishna says, even if you have committed so many sinful activities, when you get this knowledge from a bona fide guru, you have to approach. Just by approaching, getting that knowledge, all your sinful reactions will be taken care of, and you will be able to cross the ocean of miseries. So, Jnana Plavena is the boat of transcendental knowledge. And certainly, Eva, Vrijanam is the ocean of miseries, and Santarishyasi, you will cross completely. So let's look at this. It's really nice how one person might think, especially Indians, because when even Prabhupada, when he tried to bring Krishna consciousness in India, it was so difficult. People thought they already know, have such big egos. We know who Krishna is, we know who Rama is. Who are you to tell me now? Right?
Everything.
Prabhuji, if you could kindly mute. I'm so sorry.
I want
Thank you.
This sloka is very encouraging.
Yes. Very encouraging. So, and he's going to give more verses like this, really nice ones. So it is very difficult because of our ego to approach a spiritual master and to get knowledge, especially for Indians. And that's when Prabhupada came to the West, even for the people who did not know anything about Krishna. How could they submit so quickly and surrender so quickly and absorb the knowledge? So let's look at that reason why. So what is important is not where we are. People might think we're from India, we're already, or in any other country also, we're in the mode of goodness already. We are very eager to, meaning we already have the knowledge. We are vegetarians. We don't bring harm to other people. We do good for others in the mode of goodness, right? All these things are important, but more important is where we are situated and towards what we're looking. So here you see a picture of a nice, simple Indian person, right? He's situated in the mode of goodness, always, doing benefit for others and all those things, eating vegetarian food, not harming other people. But where are we looking? So at that time, Prabhupada was trying to preach, but people, although maybe in mode of goodness, they were looking towards the West. And that's why it's so important where we're looking. It's not so important where we are. So what is our aim in life? So Krishna is right there, but he's turned his face towards the West and wanting to absorb the Western culture and not absorb the knowledge of the Eastern, heritage that we have. So it is easy to go to transcendence or spiritual state from mode of goodness, but it becomes really, really difficult when we're not looking that way. And in opposition to that is the hippies. When Prabhupada came to the West, they were in the mode of ignorance and passion, but they were so disgusted, and they wanted something higher in their life. They were looking towards somebody who can bring them that higher understanding or higher state of being, higher truth in life. And that's why it is so important. See, they're looking towards Krishna in the picture, in this, if you can see over here, person is situated in goodness, but he's looking away from Krishna. And here, person is in mode of ignorance, but looking towards Krishna, wanting to have that higher state. So that's what is important. And Prabhupada said, this is my miracle. He made hippies into happies. And we'll watch this small video about when Prabhupada used to chant in Tompkins, that park in New York, and he made so many disciples. So a beautiful short video. So beautiful, right? How Krishna gave us the foundation. Prabhupada gave us the foundation how to keep the doors open for anybody, right? Whoever it is, whatever sins they might have done. But when they come, they look towards Krishna, towards finding the truth in life. The door is wide open for the knowledge, for Krishna's grace to come in their lives. So even most sinful of all sinners, when situated in the boat of transcendental knowledge, will be able to cross over the ocean of miseries. Keep going. The boat of Krishna consciousness is very simple, but at the same time, the most sublime. Now Krishna compares the knowledge to blazing fire. Let's look at the verse. Yatha dhamsi samithognir bhasmasat kurute arjuna jnanagni sarva karmani bhasmasat kurute tatha. Let's have somebody read the translation.
As the blazing fire turns firewood to ashes, O Arjuna, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes, all reactions to material activities.
So yatha etadhamsi samidho agnir. So when the firewood comes in contact with Agni, with fire, bhasmasat kurute Arjuna, it is burnt and it is completely, it turns into ashes, O Arjuna. Bhasmasat. Jnana Agni Sarva Karmani. Similarly, the knowledge, the Jnana Agni, the knowledge of the fire, which is compared to knowledge. Sarva Karmani. All the activities. Bhasmasat Kurute Tatha. It destroys or it burns down all of that into ashes. So it's really nice how last verse Krishna compared the knowledge to a boat, and this verse Krishna has compared it to fire. So Jnana Plavena, by the boat of transcendental knowledge, will cross the ocean of miseries. And here Krishna says the fire of knowledge, what will it do? It will burn to ashes all the reaction to material activities. And this is progressive. Let's see how. When we cross the ocean of miseries, the ocean still remains, right? And we cross over it. But when you talk about fire, and that firewood, which is all our material activities, it is burnt, it is completely destroyed. It turns into ashes. So there's no sign of it also. So this is the stage. We've done this before. Avidya, Bija, Papam, and then Kutam also is there. And then Aprarabdha and Prarabdha, right? We all remember that. So if this knowledge, Krishna is saying, is destroying all of those, it's burning into ashes, all of those. Not even the Bija or the desire to do Papa remains. All of that is burned.
Excuse me, Mataji.
Yes.
Can I interrupt?
Of
1 minute. This reminds me this Brahma Samhita shloka, Mataji.
Yes.
Yasya Indra Gopavendra Swakarma Bandhana Rupa Palabhajanama Tanoti Karmani Nirdhati Kintu Bhakti Bhajam Govinda Madhipuri Tam.
Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. It's beautiful how you can relate to other shlokas from the scriptures. So nice.
Topmost shloka.
Mataji.
Yes,
Mataji, can you go to that comparison, the progressive slide?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, next verse 38. Nahi jnanena sadrisham pavitram iha vidyate tats swayam yoga samsiddha kalenatmani vindati. Let's have somebody read.
In this world, there is nothing so sublime and pure as transcendental knowledge. Such knowledge is the mature fruit of all mysticism, and one who has become accomplished in the practice of devotional service enjoys this knowledge within himself in due course of time. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So now Krishna is giving a general principle that it is pure, it is sublime, and it is pure of all the knowledge, this transcendental knowledge. And such knowledge is mature fruit of all mysticism. Even if one gets into Ashtanga Yoga, this is where the stage comes where you acquire the siddhis. This is beyond that. And one who becomes accomplished in the practice of devotional service enjoys this knowledge within himself in due course of time. So due course of time, if you compare that there is, or think of a pond which is so muddy, if you can see the before picture here, it is so muddy, right? You cannot see if you drop a ring, you will not be able to see. If it's very shallow, even if the pond is shallow and you've dropped a ring, you cannot see it, or dropped anything. You cannot see it because the water is muddy. But if it can be purified, it's clear water, then you can see what is at the base of the, the pond. Similarly, our consciousness right now, it has so many anarthas, it's not purified, it has so many doubts, that knowledge is not there. But when the knowledge comes, it is so pure and sublime, it clears the consciousness, and we can see the soul clearly. I mean, there'll be a stage that comes in our devotional life also. Pure devotees can see clearly that when they're chanting, when even doing their services or in contact with the material things in this world, they can see Krishna. Devotees have seen Krishna face to face also, because the consciousness is so clear, there's so much purity. So this knowledge, Krishna is saying, is so pure and sublime. When one gets this knowledge, it is the mature fruit of all mysticism. And one can see and enjoy this knowledge within himself in due course of time. So Kalena, Krishna says, in course of time. Right? If you see the verse, Krishna has used it. Kalena Atmani Vindati. One will, over course of time, one delights or one enjoys in himself. So gradually, it is a gradual process. In course of time, every mantra that we chant, every service that we do, it purifies us. So slowly and slowly, people who've been there in devotional life for a long time, our seniors who have practiced perfectly, really nicely, as given by their gurus, we see how much the purity is there, humbleness is there. We can see it. And this is what Krishna is saying, in due course of time, it'll come. We need to have patience. Okay. Ignorance is the cause of bondage. Transcendental knowledge is the spiritual understanding. And you can read this, our notes. Who can attain this? Jnana, Krishna speaks about from the 39th, in the 39th verse. Shraddhava labhate jnanam tatparaha samyatendriyaha jnanam labhva param shantim achirena adhigacchati. So quickly Krishna says achirena. The last verse he says kalena, which means in due course of time. Achirena means quickly. Arjun might be thinking, you're saying, or when we read this, in due course of time, it could be years, it could be lifetimes, but Krishna says, tells us the qualification of that seeker. And if he has this, then it doesn't take time at all. It is very quickly. Let's look at the translation. A faithful man who is dedicated to transcendental knowledge and who subdues his senses is eligible to achieve such knowledge, and having achieved, he quickly attains the supreme spiritual peace. So two things Krishna has spoken about, over three things. Labhate is achieves, and Jnanam is knowledge. One, who can attain Jnana? Knowledge is attained by one who has Shraddhavan. He's a faithful man. Tatpara, very much attached to it or following the process. And Samyata, he's controlled his Indriyani, his Indriya, his senses. So faith, dedication, and regulation. These three things are very important. We might be in the mission of Prabhupada for years and years and years, but there is no progress. We're still at the same level. We still don't even chant 2 or 3 rounds. Why? Because of these three. The faith is not so strong, dedication is not there, it's poor, and regulations, we cannot control our senses. So Krishna is giving the process, he's giving the way, he's giving the qualification, everything he's giving it, he's making it so simple for us. It's just we who are not taking it sincerely. Why? Because we're still attached in this material world. We still think there's happiness here. So we are facing towards the wrong side. We just have to turn our head and face towards Krishna. So it's very important. Krishna is giving us the way. We just have to grab it. And one might say that you're talking about faith. One will have faith only when, knowledge is given, right? Faith will come only when we understand that we're not the body, we're the soul. All this knowledge is given, then the faith will come. But Krishna is saying it is a symbiotic relationship. So Shraddha will lead to Jnana, and Jnana will lead to Shraddha. So faith is achieved by knowledge, and when we get the knowledge, we get a deeper faith. So simple example we'll take. Krishna says this world is temporary and it is dukkhale, it's full of miseries, and we might not get it, right? But when we go through, when we go through the experience of coming in contact with dukkha, right? Then we go back and think, oh yes, Krishna said this is a place of misery and it is temporary. What did Krishna say next? Let me also understand that. So in the same verse, Krishna says, if you take shelter, then you cross beyond this dukkha and these miseries, you will cross beyond it. So then the faith in the knowledge comes through experience and through understanding, but then when we go through practically also, right, that knowledge gives us deeper faith. So it is symbiotic. It's in a cycle. And in the beginning, there has to be some little faith. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. This is from Rupa Goswami has given this 9 stages of deepening our faith. So coming to the level of prema for Radha and Krishna, we have to go through all these processes, and each process deepens our faith. So when we say Adav Shraddha, in the beginning there should be some little faith, and then that faith becomes deepened through all these stages. Then we Bhajan Kriya, Sadhu Sangha, association of devotees, Bhajan Kriya, we start chanting and we start doing seva. Anartha Nivritti, then we get purification, all our anarthas are clarified. Then there is Nishtha, we have firm faith. Then Ruchi, more interest, deep interest is produced. Asakti, we are detached from things in this world and we are attached to Krishna. And then the bhava and then prema is the highest. So if you talk about prema, it is complete faith in Krishna. So starting from little faith, going all the way through these processes, coming to deepened, complete faith in Krishna. This is progressions of faith. Normal theism is very preliminary, where people believe, yes, there is God. Okay, we have faith, there is God. But then there is a deeper faith. God exists and he loves me. It is a deeper faith. And then deeper than that is God is supreme object of my love, and I can reciprocate with his love. This is the highest faith in the supreme benevolence of God. So starting from little faith, going on to the deepest or the highest faith. Academic knowledge versus devotional knowledge. Seekers study the scriptures, and then there is a redirection of the heart. This is important. When we talk about, okay, we're opening a book of physics or math or even philosophy of this world, generally, if you talk about anything which is in connection to this world, getting that knowledge does not lead to purification or peacefulness. This is the difference between material knowledge and spiritual knowledge. When there is a sincere seeker who is studying the scriptures or learning through a guru, what happens, that knowledge redirects the heart. There is purification and then there is peacefulness. There's a tangible spiritual advancement. The knowledge that nothing can shake my spiritual position. I am a soul, part of Krishna, right? That is the deeper understanding. We all might know, we've heard it so many times, but bringing it into practice, when people are chastising us, when they're blaming us in front of so many people, is my faith shaking that time? I am Krishna's, I am a soul, and Krishna loves me. It is such a great boon to have this practical knowledge, because things will happen in this world. People will be chastising, people will be doing things maybe against us, but are we equipoised in those times? So this knowledge removes all illusion and brings liberation. It's what Krishna is teaching. So Prabhupada says, who can attain this knowledge? Faithful person and one who controls his senses. It's very important to control the senses. If the Guru has said, you shouldn't do this or you should do this, we should be able to follow his instructions. Not be whimsical, not be, okay, this is giving me enjoyment, let me still do it a little extent. No, the Guru has said this is not right, let me stop right now. That will give us realized knowledge. So controlling senses. Who is faithful person? One is called a faithful man who thinks that simply by acting in Krishna consciousness, he can attain the highest perfection. So that is real faith. And how to attain faith? By discharge of devotional service and chanting Hare Krishna, which cleanses the material dirt. Notes we can read later. Prabhupada also says one is called faithful. Okay, yeah, we've done this. Now, having spoken of the person who was qualified with knowledge, in the next verse, Krishna speaks about the person without qualification for knowledge. And let's look at the verse. Agyanascha shattadhanascha samsyatma vinashyati nayam lokosti naparo na sukham samshayatmanaha. Have somebody read?
But ignorant and faithless persons who doubt the revealed scriptures do not attain God consciousness. They fall down. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next.
So Krishna speaks about who cannot attain jnana and advance spiritually. The ignorant. So three kinds of people. Ignorant, who have no knowledge in the standard scriptures. Second is faithless, who have knowledge, but they don't have faith. And third one, who doubt the scriptures, who has knowledge and practices also, but is filled with doubts. So there cannot be advancement. First one is Ajnana, ignorant, who has no knowledge in standard scriptures, no inquiry about spiritual life. They live like animals, always thinking about material things. They come to this world, they live, and then they die. So this is their life. These are the ignorant people, or Ajnani. Then there is Ashraddhadhana, faithless, who has knowledge but no faith in the revealed scriptures. Okay, I know Bhagavad Gita, I know Krishna, I know, but they really don't have faith. These are the Ashraddhadhana. There's no importance to spiritual life. And then the last one is Samshaya, who doubts the scriptures, who has knowledge and practices also, but is filled with doubts. Does this really work? Am I just wasting my time? Better I could have earned so much money if I dedicate this time to in material life, right? So they have the knowledge. They even chant. There are people who will sit and chant, come to the temple. Yes, there are deities. Yes, pay obeisances. But there are so many doubts. Even if you answer, 2 weeks after, they'll come back with the same doubt. Exact same question, again and again and again and again. So these doubts are not cleared. Why? Because there's still attachment in this world. It is like this. When a person or an animal is shackled, it's bound, it'll go a little further, but then the advancement is checked because of the doubt of the ropes. The ropes are shackled or shackles, which are attachments in this world. So just like one is shackled, one can go a little distance, but then the moment is checked, cannot advance. So nayam lokos tina paro na sukham sam shayatmana. For the doubting soul, there is happiness neither in this world nor in the next, because happiness is ultimately a fruit of spiritual health. Soul is happy by nature, and when it's reinstated in that nature, it will live happily. Krishna has spoken about when you have this faith, you have the knowledge, you have the faith, then you will achieve peacefulness and happiness in this world. Or if you don't, then there will not be any happiness here or next world. Soul, when misidentifies with the body, happiness depends on the flickering of the material modes, sometimes happy or sometimes sad but mostly bored. You'll come across these people, they're mostly bored. That's why they're watching something, going to restaurants, doing this because they're so bored. You ask Guru Janas or Goswamis, there's a nice movie, new movie of Amir Khan or whoever. You want to come? No, they're not looking for happiness in that direction. They're finding so much happiness within in connection with Krishna. They don't feel the need. People might be general populace, might be looking at them, oh, their life is so boring. They're just sitting chanting all day, doing seva, going around Govardhan. What a life. No, that's the perfect, most blissful life because they're finding that happiness within in connection with Krishna. And somebody
Hare
might say,
Krishna,
okay,
Hare Krishna,
yes,
Mataji.
yes.
See, I have seen, most of us might have seen people who are in the mode of goodness to some extent. They are helpful, they are doing good, they are not harming, and yet there is some faith, they do some little bit, but yet they don't have faith in scriptures. I mean, do they fall in this category, what you were talking right now?
Yeah, faithless.
Faithless. But then
Yes, ma'am.
what are they doing? Early morning puja, some agarbatti, what is that?
So that whatever they do in the day, there is auspiciousness. They want to be
Oh,
good.
yes.
They want to remain peaceful, and they feel that they'll be happy. But there's the real happiness. Like if you talk about eating food, there's one category when you eat food and you feel fulfilled. Okay, that's good. But then there's another category where you feel there's tripti, right? There's supreme satisfaction that comes only when we are in devotional life. So there are people who are, like we spoke about, I don't want to go back to that slide. People are in the mode of goodness, but they're looking at the wrong direction. Early morning, one arti, one agarbatti, but the rest of the day, what are they doing? See, this is Krishna. Prabhupada brought us Krishna consciousness, that we're conscious of Krishna the whole day, at every moment. So people in goodness, they're not harming others, they are being helpful also. But where is their consciousness situated? It is in this world only, even if they're doing charity, even if they're doing work in the mode of goodness. It is not in transcendent, it is not in the level of spiritual platform where they're doing with the understanding that I'm Krishna's and all these are also Krishna's paths.
Mataji, if I remember my own self, to some extent, like in India, we know about Krishna and everything that we can claim हमने बचपन से देखा है. But the thing is, we were like those people, not harming others, be in the mode of goodness, do some religious activity, whatever is at home or somewhere else. But we were not, I was not Krishna conscious. I was in the mode of goodness, I can say. But today I'm Krishna conscious by the grace of devotees. So I met devotees. I wanted to learn Bhagavad Gita. But is there any hope for such people who are in the mode of goodness? They are, I mean, I have seen my own relatives. They are, you can say, living a very good life, good in the sense peaceful. There is no agitation throughout the day, but yes, there is no Krishna in their life. But is there any hope for them?
Yeah, Mataji, I could say two things. One is, I mean, your mood is so nice, you're compassionate, and you want to bring that mercy of Krishna and Guru and devotees in their life also, which is so nice. There is hope when they come in contact with devotees. From you, with my own experience, And I've heard Gaurang Prabhu also speak on this, that our own relatives are not very eager or interested in hearing from us. So that is one block. But if they are, we can be nice to them, and we've spoken about this. We can at least give them prasadam, call them to our house and offer prasadam, which will give them sukriti. That sukriti is important so that they can quickly also attain Krishna's mercy. So we can give all of those, share some videos and some nice bhajans sung by great devotees, pure devotees. So by hearing from pure devotees, that sukriti also will come. So all these things we can try and help with. And there's so many things, but there is hope. Hope is that's why there's book distribution. That's why there's Rath Yatra, where Harinam, where Prabhupada knew that there are people who might be wanting, the soul is wanting, but they're not ready. They don't want to turn towards Krishna. Although they might be really doing nice stuff, all those goody things, yes. But because they don't want and they're not ready, we go out and bring Krishna's holy name in their ears by going for Harinam, by book distributing, by distributing prasadam. So yes, there is hope when there is compassion in devotees' hearts. There is hope for everyone. Yes, Sonia Mataji.
Mataji, I just wanted to share that my knowledge in the spiritual journey is very, very naive. It's like not even a sand in the ocean. But I just feel in my experience that Krishna draws you when you have that, you might just think about it. In my experience, I can witness that Krishna will draw you, and Krishna will give you, if you have that faith, Krishna will just draw you to himself and things just miraculously happen. So even like for the Gita class in the morning, if you're late the previous night, you're just thinking, Krishna, wake me up in the morning. And even before anything, not even the alarm, it's like, you're almost there. Krishna will just take care of everything. So I just feel that little faith, Krishna just draws you and things just happen.
Thank you for sharing. Anybody else? I saw Sanjana Mataji also raised hand.
Mataji, like in continuation with Mohini Mataji, who asked about like relatives who are doing good activities, who are God believers, especially Krishna followers as well. But then I feel like a few of like my experiences in this case is that a lot of them are not ready to want to even learn about Gita, because they are confused in terms of which particular version of it to go to, and how certain spiritual leaders have their own perspectives added onto different Gita versions. So they're like, whatever we might be even reading is not the actual original version that Krishna has said, but it is intermixed with a lot of gurus who have their own motives hidden in these things. So
yeah, we're coming to that in this slide, in this presentation also. We're going to speak about that. Prabhupada talks about that too. So yeah, wonderful point. We'll come to that. Thank you. Yeah, faith is like muscle. Somebody might say, I don't have faith, or maybe I have little faith. So some have very healthy body, strong and fit due to past karma. But others can also develop their muscles by exercise and discipline. So this can be developed, right? Like the muscles can be developed. Similarly, faith can also be developed. Similarly, some may have more or some may have less faith in the scriptures due to past karma. But we can choose to develop our faith by doing activities that will increase our faith. So Prabhupada has given us a beautiful way, different services that we can do, which we are inclined to. Some like to cook, some like to do deity worship, some like to go on book distribution, some like to sing and chant. We can do all of those, or any one of those, and that will develop our faith further, increase our faith further. So this is like strengthening our muscles. Yes, Deepa Mataji.
So my question is faith exercising free will, or is it obtained by the mercy of devotees in Krishna? Can we pray to the devotees in Krishna to increase faith? I mean, we may have a little bit, but there is so much more, to develop. So is that
So when
something
we
ask for?
Yes. So we have the sincerity in our heart and we pray to Krishna. He will send some activity in our life. He'll do something in our life which will, to a great extent, also keep increasing our faith. We just have to be sincere and pray. Yes. So even if we're not able to go out to the temple to do any seva, how can we develop the faith? Sitting at home doing our activities, there's so many things, right? Listening to lectures, coming in association of devotees, like these classes, right? The classes also will talking about Krishna. Anytime we speak about Krishna and read what Prabhupada has taught us, we are associating with Krishna and Prabhupada here in this class. So all of these activities increase our faith. Solution: one should follow the principles of revealed scriptures with faith and thereby be raised to the platform of knowledge. One should therefore follow in the footsteps of great acharyas who are in the disciplic succession and thereby attain success. All right. And this was a short story. We won't get into detail. There was a little bit, not, I wouldn't say faithlessness, but there was a beautiful pastime of Arjunacharya. Maybe we'll do in another class because we also wanted to do the activity where Krishna says that I will personally take care of you. 922, I think. I will personally come and take care of you. And Arjunacharya was, when he was reading and giving his commentary, he was thinking, why would Krishna personally come to take care of my day-to-day, needs? He can send somebody. And then he scratches those words, and then Krishna comes personally. He's not at home, and Krishna with Balaram, they come personally bringing groceries in his house, and they show scratches on their back to his wife. So it's beautifully how we can learn from all these pastimes how faith is so important. And what Krishna says, when he says, I'll personally, yes, he'll personally take care. Okay, 2 more verses. Yoga sannyasta karmanam jnana sanchinna samshayam atmavantam na karmani nibandanti dhananjaya. Krishna says, one who acts in devotional service, renouncing the fruits of his actions, and whose doubts have been destroyed by transcendental knowledge, is situated factually in the self. Thus, he's not bound by reactions of work, O conqueror of the riches. So, this is how you should act, O Arjuna, or how one should act, or acting in jnana. So, Krishna is saying, there are two, if you see over here, there are 2 times Krishna uses the word karma. The first line, A, and then C, karmani. So yoga sannyasta karmanam, one who renounces, which kind? Not karma, not your duty. Sannyasta is renouncing, right? Sannyas lena, renouncing. So in yoga, situated in yoga, you renounce your work. Which kind of work? From the beginning, Krishna has been talking about this kind of work you shouldn't do. And which kind of work was it? Yes, vikarma is there, but there's another karma where you expect something. You do something, you expect something in return, even if it's within dharma. What is that karma called?
Karmakand.
Karmakand or sakam karma. So this first line where Krishna uses karma, sannyasta karmanam, give up fruitive action or fruitive work. Jnana sanchinna samshayam, whose doubts have been destroyed by knowledge. And atmavantam na karmani, who has realized the self, atmavantam na karmani. This karmani is not bound. Nibandhanti dhananjaya, he's not bound by karma. This means if we say he's not bound by his karma, which kind of karma is this?
Akarma.
Yeah, akarma, or the fourth that we
Nishkam karma. Nishkam karma.
Nishkam karma, or the reactions of work. One is not bound by the reactions of his work. So let's look at over here. By devotional service in Karma Yoga. So yoga, when he says, uses the word yoga over here. Yoga, situated in yoga. Sannyasta, one who has renounced karmanam, the fruits of action or the fruitive work. Atmavantam na karmani nibandhanti, the karmic reactions. So Atmavantam, situated in the self, no, never. Karmani is the work, and nibandhanti, bind. So karmic reactions don't take effect. For who? For the one who has given up the fruit of action. So be detached. This is the theme of this first section, first to sixth chapters. Krishna speaks about do your work, don't be attached. If you're not attached, you will also not be bound. There will not be any karmic reactions. So one is a bhogi, one is a tyagi, both are extremes, and a bhakta is in between. Whatever material objects he has, he offers them to Krishna. He doesn't renounce everything in the sense that not this, not this, not this, and gives up everything. A bhakta utilizes everything in Krishna's service. Prabhupada says, one who follows the instruction of Bhagavad Gita as it is imparted by the Lord becomes free from all doubts by the grace of transcendental knowledge. He's already established in self-knowledge. He's undoubtedly above bondage to action. Tasmad ajnana sambhutam hritstham jnanastenatmanaha chitvainam samshayam yogam atishto tishta bharata. Krishna says, therefore, the doubts which have arisen in your heart out of ignorance should be slashed by the weapon of knowledge. Armed with yoga, O Bharata, stand and fight. So, Prabhupada says yoga in this chapter is Sanatan Yoga, or eternal activities performed by living entities. There are two divisions: sacrifice of one's material possession and sacrifice in knowledge. So knowledge of the self, which is pure spiritual activity, understanding of one's own self or one's constitutional position, truth regarding Supreme Personality of Godhead. One who follows Bhagavad Gita can understand these two. He can easily understand transcendental activities of the Lord, as mentioned in the beginning of this chapter, where Krishna says, I have given this knowledge to Vivaswan. Remember, beginning of the chapter. One who doesn't understand instruction of Bhagavad Gita is faithless, misuses his fragment, independence, and he's fool number one, according to Prabhupada. Prabhupada is saying all this, and you can read the notes. So, Shantim achire nadi gacchati. In 39th verse, Krishna says he attains transcendental peace by living in harmony with his spiritual nature. Arjun thinks peace meaning no fighting. Right? Krishna has said, Shantim achire nadi gacchati. You should attain for peace. And right now, in Arjun's mind, peace means no fight. And sannyasta karmana, in this verse, 41st verse, Krishna says, give up fruitive work. But Arjuna is thinking, give up karma. Krishna is saying, sannyasta karmanam. So Arjuna thinks Krishna is asking him to give up his karma or fighting. But now in 42nd verse, Krishna is saying, uttishta bharata. Oh Bharata, stand and fight. There was a verse in the first chapter, remember, last verse, where Arjun sat down. Rathostapita, right? He sat down, putting his bow down. I don't want to fight. And that's why Krishna is saying, Uttishta, get up and fight. So Arjun gets confused. Krishna is talking about peace. He's talking about give up your karma. Now he's again saying, get up and fight. So that's why this is a link to the 5th chapter. We finished the 4th chapter, 5th chapter. Again, in the beginning, Arjun will ask the same question like he asked in the 3rd chapter. Should I give up fighting or should I fight? What do you want me to do, O Krishna? Prabhupada says Bhagavad Gita is not an ordinary book written by a poet or fiction writer. It is spoken by the Lord. Any person, if he's fortunate enough to hear these teachings from Krishna or his bona fide spiritual representative, is sure to become a liberated person and get out of the darkness of ignorance. Okay, so this was a little, we'll watch this sometime else, about Arjunacharya, a little small play about him, that pastime. But I wanted to, there was a discussion about Sanjana Mataji. I was thinking it's there in the slide today. Maybe it's in the next, I'm not sure, maybe in the next class. But you were talking about doubt, right? Sanjana Mataji. Let's have your people who might be wanting to know more, but there are so many translations from the Bhagavad Gita, right? Given by various so-called preachers, correct? And which one to understand from. So this is also one thing we have to know, that whichever Bhagavad Gita, it has to be from a bona fide, disciplic succession. 4 of those sampradayas are bona fide. We spoke about those in brief. So first thing is that. And then think about when Prabhupada translated the Bhagavad Gita, reading his Bhagavad Gita, there are so many hearts which are transformed. So many people have taken shelter of Krishna. But these other Bhagavad Gitas, people read, there's no purification, right? Whatsoever. There's no taking shelter. So because those preachers or people who are giving their own translation, there is some agenda. They want fame, right? They want people to, this is my original work. Original for some people is like new work. What is new in this Bhagavad Gita? Because I have brought in my own thoughts and my own originality. But originality, there is also another meaning. We have to understand as it was given. That is original. Not my perception or my reflections on this. Reflection is one thing, my interpretation on this. It is not bona fide because it's not coming in a disciplic succession. So when we approach a guru, this is the one basic quality we have to see in the guru, that he's repeating the words of his guru, and that guru has been repeating the words of his guru. The knowledge has not been distorted. It is coming purely from Krishna as it is. The line.
Yes, Mataji. Thank you so much. This answers it.
All right. So there are 2 things we can do. Either we can watch this little play on Arjunacharya, or we can do the activity. Or we can do the activity in the beginning of next class. And we can watch this now.
Both?
We can have both. We might not be able to
Mataji,
do
we'll
both.
do the activity, Mataji.
Okay, let's do the activity. 1 second. Okay, here's the activity. So we have to discuss these 2 statements, any one of them. I wanted to have groups, so which I'll do now. One is, I'm on my own guru. I don't need anyone else. I simply follow Shastra, which is the highest authority because it was spoken by Lord Krishna. So I know I have Bhagavad Gita, I can read it, and I be my own guru. I don't need a guru. This is one thing. The other thing is, I'm so lucky that I have a guru. Now I don't have to think. So you have to discuss on one of these. I'll put you guys in groups and you can discuss it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Then you'll come back and you can give your conclusion in no more than 30 words. You can write your conclusion. Your team lead can write it and speak on it, just not more than 30 words. So, okay. 1 second, I'll stop the recording also, and then I'll make the groups too.